Welcome back to We the People University. My name is Abiyah Israel, former police officer, former sheriff deputy.
Open up! Police!
The Kansas City, Missouri Police Department has seen one of its own found guilty of manslaughter. Officer Eric DeVauconer, if I pronounce his name correctly, opened fire on an innocent civilian. The citizen was simply backing his vehicle onto his own property into his garage when the police officer opened fire. I'm not going to waste too much of your time. I'm going to read a few lines from this article and then we're going to get into the video. A Kansas City police detective was found guilty of manslaughter in the 2019 killing of a black man who was fatally shot in his own backyard. Jackson County Circuit Court Judge J. Dale Youngs announced his decision Friday afternoon. Eric DeVauconer, 43, was charged with first-degree involuntary manslaughter and armed criminal action in the December 3, 2019 shooting of Cameron Lamb. He was convicted of second-degree involuntary manslaughter and armed criminal action. Lamb, 26 years old, was shot after officers investigating a crash reported a red pickup chasing a purple Ford Mustang. Officers in a police helicopter spotted the truck driven by Lamb and followed the vehicle. Prosecutors said there was no evidence that anyone had dialed 911, that anyone was hurt, or that a crime had taken place when DeVauconer and other detectives arrived at Lamb's home at 4154 College Ave. Lamb was fatally wounded as he was backing a pickup into his garage. Prosecutors allege, saying it took DeVauconer 9 seconds from the time he walked from the front of the residence to the back of the house before he opened fire on Lamb. On this channel, We the People University, we are not anti-police. We are not anti-police, but we are pro-accountability. And I'm happy to show you a cop being held accountable, not being saved by the thin blue line. Let's check this out.
The court is further compelled to find beyond a reasonable doubt that when defendant shot and killed Cameron Lamb, number one, defendant was not acting in lawful self-defense. Number two, defendant was not acting in lawful defense of Sergeant Schwam. And three, it being conceded that defendant and Sergeant Schwam were not effecting an arrest of Cameron Lamb or preventing his escape after an arrest, that defendant did not lawfully utilize deadly force as a law enforcement officer under Missouri use of force laws applicable to such officers. The court further finds from the admissible evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that when defendant followed Sergeant Schwam into the backyard of 4154 College and engaged Cameron Lamb, ultimately shooting and killing him, he did so without considering or being aware of the substantial and unjustifiable risks associated with his conduct, including, but not limited to, the fact that Sergeant Schwam and he were unlawfully on the property, that they were both escalating a situation that previously had de-escalated, and that their actions created or exacerbated the risk that what ultimately occurred would. The court concludes that this conduct was a gross deviation from the standard of care that a reasonable person would exercise in the situation and constituted criminal negligence, as that phrase is defined under Missouri law. Accordingly, as to count one, in which defendant is charged with the Class C felony of involuntary manslaughter in the first degree, the court finds the defendant guilty of the lesser included offense of involuntary manslaughter in the second degree, a Class E felony. As to count two, the unclassified felony of armed criminal action, the court finds the defendant guilty. A date for sentencing will be determined after further consultation with counsel. The court will order the preparation of a sentencing assessment report. If the defendant chooses to file a motion for new trial, his deadline for doing so is extended 10 days. I will order the defendant remain free on bond pending sentencing. That will be the court's order. Counsel will withdraw their exhibits. Good luck, everybody.
The links for this story and also the news reports are down below. Again, we are not anti-police, we are pro-accountability. Make sure you know your rights. Make sure you download my ebook to help you learn your rights. With that being said, We the People University, signing off.